Hey, welcome to Greenlight. So today we're talking about Blu-ray Tuesday, which was yesterday. Apologize about that. I've got a lot of new and cool things actually to reveal in the coming weeks. I did get a job in a non-linear editing position, and I'll be explaining more of where at here in Miami, Florida. I also didn't do a Blu-ray Tuesday yesterday because of some personal matters, as well as earlier today. There was a loss in the family, and I wanted to just to you guys, my family. I know my family watches sometimes, so to you guys, I love you very much, and we'll move on here talking about Blu-rays, but that's some personal matters that has happened within myself and my own family. So with that being said, we do have some Blu-rays though today, actually this week, and they do have special features, so we are going to talk about them. So the first one is Brightburn, and then we have The Hustle, as well as ADogsJourney. So all these have special features, and thanks to Bluray.com, everything that I talk about is in the links below. There will be a pinned comment down below with all the links to an affiliate site, an Amazon affiliate site where you can purchase all these Blu-rays and DVDs, as well as helping out this channel so we can grow and put money into as marketing, as well as maybe even a space in between. Either way, many things to come in the near future. A lot of projects. I have a Blu-ray making of. Actually, a couple of making of kind of stuff for filmmakers here. So for you filmmakers, just kind of stick around. So let me just get into the stinger right away. This is why I do this live. My son's here watching Toy Story 3, so he's super excited for me to just kind of move forward and get things going. So let's see here on Blu-ray Tuesday. So first thing first, I wanted to let you guys know that everything in this channel, we talk about Blu-rays and DVD featurettes that can help you as a filmmaker. We also give away free tools and stuff like that to help you out, so you may become a better filmmaker from a dreamer to a filmmaker. So hit the notification button so you know every video that comes out. We do things about 3D stuff, as well as filmmaking behind the scenes tips that are practical that you can do with your camera, phone, to be more precise. There's some things that you can do now for the computer. Links below into this OBS system, so you see all this stuff is happening live, which I guess I'll be covering that over time, explaining a lot of my work in nonlinear editing. So that being said, let's move on. We got Brightburn, and we got some really cool featurettes in this. Let's see here. There we go. We got the Brightburn cover. So this is the Brightburn cover. You need more milk? You need milk? Okay. Go over there. Go sit down. Come on. Over here. You gotta wait, okay? You do know. Because there's no other food, there's no other snacks and stuff like that. Sorry, everyone. When you have kids, you gotta let them know that there's no snacks and stuff. They tend to want to have it all day. So this is Brightburn. Um, and by the way, he's like almost 3, so he does say a lot of words. And one of the words he said today that's new is Disney World. So he said Disney World today. And I told him that we'll go one day. So we'll talk about that soon. And if you guys are interested in that, in Disney stuff, we will be covering a lot of D23 this weekend as well. So more into that later. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. So moving on, we're going to see the back end of this. This is what we do here. We talk about the special features. So from right off the bat here, you can see this is the cover for Brightburn, the back and slip cover of the Blu-ray. Okay, and actually of the 4K, sorry, because it has 4K as well, and the Blu-ray disc. So we're gonna zoom in here. You see here filmmaker commentary. This is cool. So throughout the movie, you're gonna see probably you've probably seen the film. I haven't seen the film yet. Dying to see it. It looks like if you know one of those what if type films where it's like, what if Superman was a villain, you know, and it was dealt with as a horror type superhero horror genre. So thank you, James Gunn, for this. I haven't seen it yet. Actually thinking of recommending it to my wife. We think this is an interesting kind of concept and stuff like that. She is not into superhero films that much, and I'm a little more practical as well when it comes to films and stuff like that in this world. So a lot of films that I like, you know, even when they go a little fantasy, they still have that practicality of it. Moving on, there's creating a new supervillain. So creating a new supervillain, they're definitely going to talk a lot about the story here and the characters here. So that's definitely good for writers, actors, and directors as well, because this is all world building coming from the character. So this is how indie films are made. Moving on, next one, hero horror. So a radical new genre. So yeah, obviously they're going to talk a little bit more about this genre bending type concept that I was explaining that me and my wife want to check out because it's interesting in that sense. So there's that. Let me know what you think about that documentary in the comics and in the comments below. There's Quick Burn vignette social series. So when they say stuff like that, that's usually a bunch of behind the scenes clips that they may have released over time, all in the buildup of its release in theaters. So this probably goes, and they give this to you as well on Blu-ray. And you could probably play it all in one shot, which is pretty cool. So I love things like that. Each one will probably be like 10-15 minutes. Since this is Sony, it could be 20 minutes each. I mean, they could. I'm thinking there's 10-15 minutes. They shouldn't go that far. They're web series type vignettes. So the other ones, they could go from 20 to 30 minutes or 30 to 40, depending on how long the filmmakers talk about this film. Okay, moving on here. We got The Hustle is next. So this is pretty cool. I haven't seen it yet. Me and my wife have it. We're ready to see it anytime, any day now. We're gonna see this film, so I'm excited to see what these girls are gonna do here. But they have a really cool slipcover on this, and it's all gold and shiny and stuff like that. From what I saw in the stores. So moving on, let's just look at the back of this. I have a picture of my son, I think, in the back of this gold car or something that we did in Los Angeles in the movie theater when it came out. We went to see Wonder Park, and they had this before this movie came out. It was way before this movie came out. So talking about the special features, so this is a Universal releasing I believe they have a couple of them this week. Yeah. This week, the next two is Universal, and this is the first one was Brightburn was um, just mainly a Sony release. Okay, so quickly, hitting the mark. So hitting the mark obviously is a play on words with the whole hustle and them being thieves and stuff like that. I believe. So it's a behind the scenes type thing. So it's behind the scenes of this film, and I believe it'd be 30, 40 minutes. It's Universal. They could push it to almost an hour. So let me know in the comments if they do. Then there's Comedy Class. This is cool. Again, like I talk about this all the time here when it comes to comedy films. They always have a more of like an improvisational type of thing going on. And with Rebel Wilson and Anne Hathaway, Anne Hathaway is an actress, so she's like basically like one that's trying to go for Oscars and stuff like that, and she's always trying to make it interesting for her. And a lot of these types of actors, these character actors, that's what they call them, and they work with actors, actresses. They like to be called actors in the industry, by the way. Actresses. They don't want to just be called actresses. We're all actors. Rebel Wilson is more in the vein of using improv to her advantage, especially with comedy, because I'm thinking that's how she got her career. From what I recall, she was doing something in Bridesmaids, made me laugh and stuff like that, playing the roommate. It was kind of funny. So moving on with that, check that out. That's going to be cool. That's going to be a good feature at Comedy Class. So moving on over to Con Artists. So Con Artists, they could a little bit more of a, I believe a little more behind the scenes on the film, as well as adding something from Comedy Class, maybe some acting stuff, and or maybe a play on words with the fact of them two together. Anne Hathaway and Rebel Wilson together in behind the scenes, really, kind of playing with each other or behind the scenes and stuff, fun they've had behind the scenes. So it could be something like that, I believe. So whenever they play on words like that, especially in Universal or any big company like that, when it's they try to make it feel like a franchise type film, and they package it like this. It's a Hollywood film, and they got their big actors, That's usually what they do. So that's with that one. Let's move on to their next releasing, because they got two more actually. Okay, there's A Dog's Journey. Logan, come here, look. Look, there's a doggy movie that came out. So A Dog's Journey, it has, it's a sequel to A Dog's Purpose. We saw A Dog's Purpose, me and my wife, and then I believe we saw like half of this. It wasn't as good as A Dog's Purpose, at least. It was interesting. I'll say that much. We don't talk about reviews here in movies, so we talk about the making ofs here. So bonus featurettes here. Let's see. Zoom in. They got some here. This is the back of it, as you can see, and then this is very family friendly. Let's see here. So we have deleted scenes, extended scenes as well, gag reel, A Dog's Sequel, Everyone's Best Friend. Logan, no. We're closing the fridge. You gotta close the fridge. Where'd you go? Come here. Yeah, we're coming over here. We're gonna wait for that. Daddy's gotta finish here. We're almost done. We don't have a lot of movies to talk about. We're talking about the doggy. Look at the doggy. Who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Who's that right there? Oh. 3 years old. They never want to do what you're doing. They want to do the exact opposite to find something else that's more entertaining for themselves. Shout outs to all the parents out there that work very hard, because this is tough. I tell my parents every day I love them for this, because I can't believe the kind of things that we put our parents through at this time. Love knows no bounds, guys. On the note of ADogsJourney. Okay, so there's alright, so we were on a dog sequel, and then we're gonna move on to everyone's best friend. And then working with dogs, a healing journey, scoring the journey, and then feature commentary with director Gail Mancuso. So I believe this is really cool. I don't think I've seen this, especially in I've probably seen it once before in a featurette, but I like, there's one here that's very, very major. It's a major thing they talk about in film school a lot. Don't work with kids. Don't work with dogs and animals. So there's a thing called working with dogs here that's very interesting. Mainly, they say don't work with animals because you're never gonna get what you want. They're like one take wonders. So you're gonna get what you get that day. So be prepared for that, and or have somebody that has a trained animal, trained cat, trained dog. I mean, I worked with a cat in a music video, and he was my cat, so I knew what he was gonna do, and I made it work for myself. But still, I had to, kind of, you kind of work in reverse. You gotta like figure it out backwards in some way. So with that being said, that's a major, major, major thing in film school here, right here, working with dogs. That's probably going to teach you how to like get takes, and how they were able to get takes with them and repeat takes with them. And of course, all their dogs here are all trained. Okay, so everyone's best friend, obviously, it looks like it's going to be a little documentary about you're working a little backwards from there. A little documentary about like dogs and stuff like that, and a dog sequel, obviously talking about all the the ties between this film and the last one, which was The Dog's Purpose. So, and then moving on, a healing journey, probably more about the story and everything like that. That's good for screenwriters. Scoring the journey, that's cool because we haven't seen anything recently today about, or even I haven't seen anything in a couple weeks that has to do with scoring a film. So this is cool too. They probably go in depth on how they work with the strings and the composer and being there in the recording studio. This looks like a lot of fun. My muse as an artist is music. So everybody has their own muse. Between music, my son and my wife, and just life, sometimes I let just the way light hits certain things. You'll see that over time with me, I believe. I'm starting to believe that I have an interest when it comes to trees and just nature and Mother Nature and the way light hits things and the clouds and stuff like that. It's interesting because it's that's like the biggest paintbrush you could ever have. So let's just move on from there. We'll move on to the next film, because this is another Universal releasing, and this has a certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. It's kind of interesting. The Biggest Little Farm. Never heard of it. I believe it's a book. I think it's a book. So let me know in the comments, guys, or in the live chat if you guys are there now. Oh, checking real quick. Hey Adam, you guys are here every week. Hey the Mute Chef, how you doing? Thank you guys for joining me in the live stream. We've already gone over 19 minutes, so I'm going to move on. Thank you guys. Check them out, guys. And please give them a subscribe on their channel and give some support. Okay, so this is The Biggest Little Farm. I haven't seen it. and I'm looking for some live action stuff that's nature oriented like this that we can teach our son more things. So let's move on to the back here, and let's see what they got for special features. So automatically, this is a nice little back end here. This takes a lot of like motion graphics and at least graphic design sense. It's just graphic design sense here. So you can put all this together. It's clever. I like these type of little things. All right, moving back here. There's Meet Chris. I believe. Let me know because it says Neon. It's produced by Neon. Let me see here. Biggest Little Farm chronicles the 8-year quest of John and Molly Chester as they trade city living for 200 acres. So I believe that this is a documentary. This is pretty cool. Looks like a good documentary though. So with that being said, these little behind the scenes could be really cool documentary behind the scenes. So it says Meet Chris, Poodle Roo, and it says The Guardians and Day in the Life. So Poodle Roo is probably an animal there or a person there. It's more specific to the documentary if you've seen it in theaters. Chris obviously could be this guy right here in the picture, or the main guy here in this picture. So he probably runs the farm and everything, so you get to meet him and all that. That's probably an interview straight up, and then Poodle could be like a segment, probably an extended scene, and then the outtakes, obviously some outtakes, extended outtakes and stuff from a lot of stuff you already seen. The Guardians could go a little bit more in depth on them, and so it could be another little side documentary. Now all these, if you really read between the lines, and I talk about this a lot in this channel, is read between the lines in these featurettes, and you're going to learn more than what they're showing you. Because they're going to show you one thing, and they're going to show you all the fun and all this stuff. Ooh, sorry about that. I know that was kind of loud in the headphones. He dropped something. One of his toys. So moving on. So this is something pretty cool. So you're going to see a lot of like read between the lines type of stuff here when it comes to documentaries. So if you're interested in documentaries, this is a good one to check out, especially in the special features. So moving on, we got a Gravitas Adventures releasing just one. It's a horror film. It's called Camp Wedding. Kind of interesting, I guess. There's no special features really here on this one. So we're going to show the back real quick. But shout outs to Gravitas Adventures. I give them shout outs here because they actually gave me a very good conversation on the phone about them and how they deal with us as filmmakers and upon releasing a film with them and all. So I do plan on going to them in the future, and I have thought about doing it with the documentary, but since it's more of a personal documentary, I don't think I'm gonna do that. Probably do it with another film later on in the future. So with all that being said, let me give you guys a look at, because we're a film making channel that talks about Blu-rays and DVDs. So if you see on the bottom right here, it says Gravitas Adventures, hit them up. I don't believe I have a link down below, and I usually say I do in one of these videos. I normally do, but look them up on Google. They don't sponsor me or whatsoever, so they're just really cool and really nice to us as filmmakers. So it might give you an idea of where you're going with your film upon releasing it. Okay? So, thank you again for joining me this week on this release week of Blu-rays. and DVDs. Again, links down below for everything I talk about, and there's some free downloads down there for this program I'm using, OBS. It's like having your own news station at home. So it's kind of cool. And then there's you kind of do live editing as you go. So then there's also a blender.org link there where you can download Blender 2.8, which I'm going to be doing some Blender stuff over time and showing you some of the projects that I do with it, and as well as hopefully some basic tutorials, and I'll get to them very soon. But since upon me getting this job, I'm going to be working a lot of nights, and it's for a news company out here, and I'll divulge more as time goes on. Once I start, I officially hear word of more of my schedule and everything, and I still gotta do the process and everything like that. I hear about it Friday, and then next week I'll start. Sometime next week I believe I would start work. If not, it would be the week after. It'd be that Monday or something, which I believe they will do too, because it's the news. So thank you guys again for all your support. This weekend I will be doing a D23, which is Disney 23. They give away a lot of, I know Marvel gave away a lot of stuff in Comic-Con, but there's I believe Pixar, Disney Animation, and then Disney World news and stuff like that. I don't really do Disney World news and theme parks. I know there's a lot of guys that do that here, and I watch them, and me and my son watches them. And shout outs to DSNY Newscast and Mickey Views. They offhand are people that I remember watching a lot of their videos every week, and they're consistent like I am every week on their channel. So thank you again for joining me. I will be doing D23, talking about those movies and maybe some television shows, but we really focus on films and feature films and contained feature films. So thank you again, and I'll see you guys here next week.